There's no effects. Yeah. Yeah. We have a game there.
Go traffic and.
We'll call the regular city of White Lakes Council meeting to order Monday, May 24th, 2023. Roll call please.
Scott.
Here.
Bogart.
Here.
Graham. Here. Kramer. Here. Sims.
Here. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, few items on the consent agenda. Has everybody had a chance to look at them? And if so, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Kramer. Is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Councilor Drams. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Reports from staff to the administrator only.
The only thing I have today is we will be closed, meaning the city clerk's office will be closed about 14 days during the month of May and June. And that is for training and updating our software. Those will all be listed in the shopper for 2 different times, and we will also have the updated list on our Facebook page.
So there'll be still dates or days in during that time period for doing city business or?
Yes, yeah, so it's, like 1 day here, 1 day here. I think the most we have are 3 stretches of 3 days in a row. And that's when the trainers are driving up from Wisconsin to train us, so they try to pack it up for those 3 days.
Public Works Director Kenny.
Yeah, Public Works, as you guys have probably noticed, we're still plowing streets instead of sweeping them. With any luck tomorrow, there's a couple streets where the curb lines are just about all exposed. I expect the sweeper to be out rolling tomorrow. We've also been getting some work done at campground, little renovating of the campground office for the new 24/7 check-in procedures we're gonna have in place out there, so the place can be open, the door will be open to the office all the time. But everything in the office will be secure, so we added some gates like you'd see at a mall where gates can be pulled out preventing anything in the office that we don't want people to get to. Docks are ready to go in as soon as the lakes are out and well,
Thank you. EMS Director Olmsted.
I did some number crunching here today, just reflecting back on 2022 versus this year. We're up 17% on run volume. Also looking at billing and what we're bringing in with the new billing company, our revenue is up 19%. Tomorrow, the state EMSRE office will be paying us a visit and you're getting inspected tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. We're also expecting a surprise Medicare inspection. That's a surprise, so I don't know when. Otherwise, we've been busy putting everyone through PALS course, which is pediatric and vascular support. We got all our paramedics through it a couple weeks ago. And Cody and myself have started our clinical hours for community paramedic with, the family practitioners at the clinic here. Well, no, I got.
Thank you. City attorney, Mitch.
Nothing to report.
Reports from elected officials, Councilor Kramer,
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Councilor Grant,
Nothing to report.
Councilor Bordeaux,
Nothing tonight.
Councilor Scott. Nothing to report. And I do not have anything either. Full business, 10-1, bids received for the Midway shelter pavilion. Becky, any,
In front of you, you will have the updated 10.1. We did bid openings on Friday. Matt is here to answer any questions about any engineering or those bids in particular. I do know Kenny and I do recommend that you approve the lengthy bid for $355,000. That is over the current budgeted amount of $330,000. I have reached out to VI-RRR. They have indicated they're willing to help bridge any funding gap. If they are unable to do that $25,000, I do think we will be able to make that happen, just when the project gets done. The $355,000 bid does include that bituminous surface for the best.
okay, anybody have any questions for Matt?
Does that include the connections for a tangent they went up over the between this and the basketball hoops you're going to know?
It doesn't.
Okay, no basketball hoops. It does not include that. The connection, could you repeat the first question?
Well, we had that larger tanks there last year for water.
Oh, yeah. So it's set up to be able to put the tent over the top of the basketball court itself. And then there's actually a patio, a concrete patio between where the concrete pavilion floor will be and the bituminous basketball court. So we set it up that way, so there could be a patio in between, open air patio. Okay, pavilion, you have a tent over the top of the bituminous basketball court. So any hoops that you're gonna wanna put in there are probably gonna end up being removed. So I don't know, it's been decided, Kenny, on what you guys wanna do with that. but-
No, Wade and I are gonna look at our options there as far as new moves that are meant to be removable, otherwise we're looking at the ways of fabricating the ones we removed from the old basketball court and see if we can make them, you know, where they slide into like a pocket that would be removable for the weekend.
And along the patio, there will be tank anchors in the concrete there.
Correct, my goal was to use those same anchors to secure the picnic tables on the patio space. So kids aren't dragging them off over the field or something like that. And then come water on the weekend, we'll remove those picnic tables or move them. And those anchor points will serve for the 10-foot spacing for the straps that hold the tent in place.
Were you surprised by these numbers, Matt, the bids? Or,
I was actually, to be honest, I was a little surprised that they weren't higher. I actually expected them to come in a little bit higher, so I'm pleasantly surprised that they came in the other way this time. Well, there's still, and just the construction industry in general, is still, the prices are up, but this was actually a pretty good bid.
okay. All right, any more questions for Matt? If not, is there a motion to approve?
I do have one quick question, I don't know if it's for Matt. So with the bid for $355,000, is that a hard cutoff, or can they go beyond that and we have to pay that additional?
Anything over that would come to you through change orders.
Okay.
So, you know, if we ran into something that we were like, oh no, we really want this, but we forgot to include it. The contractor would do a change order through Matt's office. It would be submitted to us with the additional cost to include that at that time. Yep.
Anything else? Okay, still looking for a motion to approve the
Make a motion to approve.
motion made by Councilor Borgard, there's support. I'll support that. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, 11-1 is an invoice from the White Lake Garden Club for $1,500 for the 2023 season. I believe in the past, we've always given money to the garden club.
We've always paid them for an invoice. We do not donate any money to them.
Okay. So thank you for the clarification. To make sure we're doing this legally correctly.
I'll make a motion to that invoice.
Okay, motion made by Councilor Kramer. Is there support?
I'll support that.
Support by Councilor Scott. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, 11-2, request from White Lake Fire Department to promote captain. White Lake Fire Department recommends promoting Melanie Olmsted to the position of captain beginning 4/1/2023. So this would be retroactive to the beginning of the month. And is there a motion to approve?
Yeah, ready to motion.
Who's currently captain or don't we have?
May retired.
Nate retired.
Oh, that's right, okay.
I'll make that motion. to promote, captain. Is there support?
I'll support.
Or by Councilor Borgard. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 11-3, emergency services department service contract with Image Trend.
Let's disregard this, we don't need this contract. I did some further investigating and we do not need to do that. But I wanted to get it on the agenda, they gave me a cutoff date of the 27th, and I called the MSRB today and we do not need to do that, so. We're all right. Just go away.
It was just an amendment, it looked like, but.
So what happened was back in 2018, prior to January 1st of 2019, we went with Image Trend Elite, which is the state sponsored website that we do our patient care reports on. We use that for free through the state. Prior to that, we piggybacked off of Virginia Fire and used, so they had to buy a package that they didn't use all their runs, so we pitched in and paid for part of theirs and used theirs. So in order to get back into those runs, they told me that I would need to either pay $800 a year or get them all sent to me in PDF. And legally, we have to keep patient care reports for 10 years. So from 2018, we thought we would have to get into this together, but they're all uploaded onto the state's Starbull. So I have access to that. So any funds prior to 2018, I can get through that for free. So we don't need to do it.
Great. 11-4, resolution 2023-009. Delinquent utility assessments. We had our public hearing, nobody showed up. And we've number of delinquent accounts here. And we need a motion to approve these assessments. Anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Grams, is there support?
I'll support.
Supported by Councilor Kramer. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. 11.5, resolution 2023-010, application to the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers Science Kit for Public Libraries grant.
The library, this is a no match grant, so it's money given to the library to buy science and electrical engineering kits for students, kids.
Okay, is there a resolution to approve, or is there a motion to approve resolution 2023-010?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Counselor Scott. Support, supported by Counselor Grant. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 11.6, Ranger TV Snowmobile Club invoice to SEH in the amount of $1,362.50. Pass through to the city. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Counselor Kramer, is there support? Support by Counselor Graham. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 11.7, request for installment payment of delinquent utilities fees for account number. I'm not going to.
I'll make that motion to approve that.
Motion made by Counselor Bordeaux. Is there support?
I'll support that.
Supported by Counselor Scott. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 11.8, American Rescue Plan funding.
So this council has not yet committed $106,000 of the American Rescue Plan funding that we received. That does need to be spent by the end of 2024. And so I'm wondering if you want to have a special meeting to discuss, if you want to meet and discuss it as part of our budgeting process. How exactly you'd like to handle it. I just wanted to put it back on your radar that we have not yet.
When we receive these funds, did it tell what it could and could not be used for?
Yeah, it can only be used for in directly responding to the pandemic. Last year, we utilized our funds for an additional vehicle, which helps obviously separate out employees if there were to be another COVID instance. And then we also used it for sanitizing the air here at City Hall, because this building is open to the public. We utilized it to put in filters and sanitizing the air that circulates within the building. And then we also, we utilized it for upgrades at the city clerk's office, so we can, there only has to be one person working at a time. You know, prior to, it was very, very difficult for us to have just one person working at a time, but with these upgrades, we were able to make it so one person feasibly could handle everything that came into the office.
So with so if we're gonna do upgrades or something similar. And I know the lead time for getting certain things is out of this world right now. It's hard to get things. You think we should have that before budget time?
That's up to you. I can get you an exact list of what those monies can be spent on and some ideas from what other communities have been spending on. You can also utilize it for revenue replacement, for revenues lost during the pandemic. I will tell you that since this city has cracked down on shutoffs, we do not have a significant amount of revenue loss from the pandemic. Just because all of those people water out, it's not easy to have your water out, so they need a majority of it. The other things you can utilize the money for that are not directly, fixing this at the city hall to make it better. You can utilize it for grants for local businesses or entities. You can utilize it, for supplemental payments for your employees. Those kinds of things that would have the lead time.
We just have to, we have to have it spent or we.
We have to have it spent by the end of this year.
24, end of 24.
Oh, yeah, 20.
Yeah,
I would say maybe we should have a meeting to kind of get an idea of what we want to use it for, if it is something that's gonna require bids and, you know, lead time to spend the money, then we could plan for that, and if a lot of our ideas are quick and easy, then we can do it at budget time.
it is under 175, so you won't have to go through the legal bidding
Okay.
process, but
I don't know if it needs a motion, but I would make a motion to set up a special meeting, planning meeting to discuss it.
and would you like me to reach out to everyone and schedule that?
Yes.
Is it easy enough to just tack it on the end of a regular meeting? Since we're already here, or does it have to be on a separate day?
We can do that. That's part of it.
That can be in your email if you want to know.
Okay, so do you want to? All your states and times.
Yeah.
Did we need a motion on that? Right, that's what I'm saying, did we need a?
You can, or you cannot. I usually take correction well.
All right, I think we got the plan for us. Go ahead and- All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Kramer, support. Supported by Councilor Graham. All those in favor?